Hey guys, let me know if you can hear me. I hope I set this up right, but I'm not 100% sure. So there is a little bit of, well, if you've been on my streams before, you'll know, but there's a little bit of a delay between when I speak and when you guys will see it, so when I can know if you can hear me or not. So I apologize that whenever I'll be reading the chats, there will be a delay. So, alright. I'll wait for people to let me know. Okay, awesome. So, today, we're going to be talking about hypergamy. I think that's how you pronounce it, honestly. I don't know. And divine femininity. And, let's see. This is gonna be recorded and it'll be posted on YouTube afterwards. So if you can't watch live, that's great. If you are watching live, there is gonna be different chapters. So if you want to kind of skip the intro, then you can go ahead and do that. So let's see. I guess I should wait for a couple more people to get in. I don't want to jump right into it. But basically, we're going to start out by talking about divine femininity and then mainly talk about hypergamy. I have some links that we're going to go through, and they're mainly on hypergamy, which I like to think of as spiritualized gold digging in a sense. So, yeah. But how are you guys doing today? I hope this is a semi-decent time for some people, of course not all, but yeah. Okay. All right, 40 people. Let's just get into it. And if you're coming in late, or people who are coming in late can just scroll back in time. Okay. I need to make sure I do this the right way. Switching between screens is a little confusing, but I think I got it. Sorry. I hope I'm not going to clear my throat too much, but it's there's something in there. I think because I just ate. I had some scrambled tofu. So, hopefully you can see my screen now. So I want to start out by giving a little introduction to what divine femininity is, for those of you who don't know what it is. And this is not a bad thing. There's just a couple problems in it that I want to talk about. But first, I might have to let my cat go outside. Well, at some point. He just walked away, but I feel like he's going to walk back over to the door and start pawing at it again. So might have to get up in a second. But, show the kitties. They're too far away. If they come over, which I'm sure one of them will come over at some point, but then I'll show them. Oh, Milo's coming. Maybe just to eat, though. Okay. So, okay, come here. This is Milo. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on, let's go. Here he is. This is my cuddle kitty. Alright, not today though. But, so let's look at the definition of divine femininity. There's actually 3 of them that I'm gonna maybe look at. That should do it for us. This is a popular thing, obviously, for women. I see it a lot on Instagram. That's kind of where I came across it, I should say. But what is the divine feminine? The divine feminine, though becoming more popular to many, is very elusive in our society. She is hidden away, probably afraid to make her full debut. Why? Because she hasn't had a safe place for expression. It is the sacred feminine that has been kept secret for way too long. Okay, maybe that's not the best definition. Let's see. Here it is. Okay. The divine feminine is sacred, sensual, and often beyond the realm of day-to-day living. It's something that can't be seen, but rather experienced and felt. It's a healing force beyond the physical world. The divine feminine is also the positive expression of the feminine side of us that exists in both men and women. The divine feminine principle is within all of us. So, there's that definition. And, I mean, kind of like a really quick summary of it is just like people who are into divine femininity are into like connecting with their feminine side, basically. And seeing it as like a beautiful thing, that kind of stuff. So let's see. This place, or this website, says divine feminine versus divine masculine. History tells us that the divine masculine has taken over our lives. It has been overpowering all of us, creating an imbalance between the two energies. It's important to note that both these energies are inherently neutral. It's the imbalance, the tug of power, that creates chaos between the two. You've heard it a million times. Too much of anything is bad. So, I guess, to me, this kind of comes across as being like masculinity is praised more in, I suppose, Western culture for sure. Probably not every single culture in the world. But it's praised more, like having masculine traits are seen as being better by a lot of people, whereas feminine traits, like being emotional, like women are criticized for being overly emotional and that kind of stuff. And so the divine feminine movement is more about regaining, I can't think of the word, but just getting back in touch with the more feminine side and balancing them too. Though, I don't know if everyone wants balance, because some people tend to talk about masculine traits as if they're bad. So that's what we're gonna get to. There's one more definition, but I don't know if I want to go through it just yet, so we'll check it out real quick. But I'd really love to know what your guys' opinions are throughout this whole live stream on all of it. Like right now, like femininity versus masculinity, I feel like there's a ton of people who are much more like educated on that subject than I am, or have like done their own personal research on it more than I have, and have a lot of really knowledgeable perspectives that I don't. So like, yeah, let me know in the comments, or let everyone know. So this website, I feel like we've got it, hopefully. Hopefully everyone has an understanding of it. And so there are positive aspects to this for sure. It can be like a super empowering movement for a lot of women, and that's great. So there's definitely not like anything wrong with being into this kind of stuff at all. But I have come across some things that I feel like are alarming, or not alarming, but just kind of like bad advice, and not really, what's the best way to describe it? You'll see. I'll stop talking and you can just check it out. So let me pull up some links. Okay. So it's like, here's an example. So there's this, I found this Instagram page about, they have like divine feminine stuff, kind of, their entire page is like that. And one of the things they said is, feminine women can't be in a relationship with a feminine man. Her energy will naturally repel him. And so a kind of like a common thing that I see in these divine feminine Instagrams and wherever else is they praise femininity in women and kind of speak negatively against it in men. And it seems kind of to me like I don't know why women have to be feminine or why men have to be masculine. I mean, let's see if anyone has said anything. Um, yeah. It's like different people naturally feel drawn to different, like, expressing themselves in different amounts, with different amounts of femininity and masculinity, you know? Like, it's not like women should be feminine. And it also comes into, like, something that I don't feel very educated in, but it's like, what does it mean to be feminine? What does it mean to be masculine? How are these things determined? Like, are these inherent things? Are these socially constructed things? I'm sure there's people who like study this stuff that are maybe watching this or whatever, and you can let me know your thoughts on it. But it's like, I don't really understand why it's important for a woman to be feminine, or why it's important for a man to be masculine, because, like, let me see. What's feminine in one culture can be seen as masculine in another. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I don't know if there are a couple or certain things that are inherently masculine or feminine, but there's certainly things that, like, 100% are seen as masculine in some cultures and are seen as feminine in others. And so it's like, why are these things valuable at all? And why can't, like, this Instagram says, like, why can't a feminine woman be in a relationship with a feminine man? Is, like, some people are attracted to that. There are women who are feminine who are attracted to femininity and men. And let's see. There's really no comments on that. Let's see if this Instagram has any other interesting things. I feel like I have gone through it, and a lot of it isn't about divine femininity anymore. So, yeah, I don't know if we're really gonna find anything there. But the other one that I wanted to talk about is this, which I think is more problematic. And this creator basically presents feminine women as good and masculine women as bad. And I don't know how they determined that each of these traits are feminine or masculine, but apparently they did. So it says case study at the top, which I have no clue what the relevance of including that is. But feminine women are mindful of their demeanor, tone, and conversation. They make an effort to maintain a well-kept appearance. They allow themselves to be emotionally intimate. They take time to recharge, pamper, and self-soothe. So it's like, these things are very typical, like, feminine things that are expected of women, kind of very classic, what's the word? Old. I think kind of dated ways that women are supposed to act this way, right? Women are supposed to be timid and very focused on their appearance. And I gotta let my cat out, so I'll be right back. Okay. As I was saying, I mean, I think, like, the third one, allow themselves to be emotionally intimate. I mean, that's good, and that's, like, it's good to take time to recharge and whatever. But let's go to the masculine women's side. Masculine women are apparently hating, bitter, and messy. They put little to no effort in hygiene and appearance. They're emotionally unavailable and view them as a weakness. They overwork themselves, expect other women to follow suit. So, like, I don't know if masculine traits overall, like, are masculine men also hating, bitter, and messy? Or is it just that when a woman is masculine, then she is these things? Or are these things that make a woman masculine? Is it not, like, I mean, there are women who present themselves very masculine, the way they dress, the way they do their hair or whatever. Maybe they prefer more masculine hobbies or decor. I don't know. But does that not make a woman masculine, but these traits are what makes someone masculine? Or is it like women who are like that, oh, they're all hating, bitter, and messy? And then like put little to no effort into hygiene and appearance. I find this to be really funny because it's like one of the reasons, or like a reason that people, both men and women, can go through periods of times where they're putting little to no effort in hygiene and appearance is like having depression or like experiencing mental health issues. So does like having depression make you more masculine? Is that like a bad, I mean, of course it's like, it's not like it's a good thing to like stop taking care of yourself and whatever, but does it make you a bad person? Obviously not. Yeah, someone said whoever wrote this has never met a butch lesbian. It's like, I don't get it. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of stereotyping nonsense. And so are emotionally unavailable and view themselves, I'm guessing they mean themselves, as a weakness, and overwork themselves, expect other women to follow suit. To be honest with you, like sure there are women that overwork themselves, but I've never heard of the concept of like women who work a lot, like expecting other women to do the same thing. So I'm not really sure what is meant by that. But it's like overworking yourself isn't good, but it's like if a woman has like a high motivation to work and is like really driven to do some sort of work, career, blah blah blah, like why is that bad? Because it's traditionally considered a masculine thing to be like the breadwinner and all that. It's just so like a regression in the progress we've made over time with women not all being expected to be the same exact thing, you know? See. Oh yeah. So again, I don't know if she has any other things. So this is the woman that I came across first who talks about hypergamy. So she has a feminine guide for hypergamous women. I really hope I'm not pronouncing that wrong. I hope it's not like hypergamous. I feel like it's not. Yeah, I think those are the things I wanted to talk about. Because honestly, it's kind of hard to find a lot of like divine feminine pages that post a lot about divine feminine. Maybe I just don't look hard enough, but whenever I was like looking for them, a lot of them post other stuff, and so it's like, yeah, I wasn't really sure where to find it because I didn't want to talk about like videos, because the video, like if I play a video on a stream, it's gonna be super choppy, I just know it. So I just wanted to talk about the divine femininity thing a little bit more, and just this idea that women are supposed to be feminine. If you're a masculine woman, that's bad. If you're a feminine man, that's bad. And sorry, I'm looking at the comments over here every time I look over here. So these traits are inherently masculine because that is the accepted stereotype of being a man. Yeah. Progress is actually turning into regression. Yeah. First heard the word hypergamy in me and Kat's recent Cats, and it's wild. Oh yeah, I've heard of her channel before. I think she has like some good long deep dives on like Tony Robbins, Rachel Hollis, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think, in my opinion, like I get that this isn't necessarily the way that you should live or anything, but it's like, I don't think your entire life should be focused on being feminine or being masculine. I feel like if it is that way, like you're probably not being genuine to yourself. Like, what are you naturally attracted to being, or like interested in being? What feels natural to you? just being focused on, oh, is this a feminine thing to do? Oh, is this masculine, therefore bad? I don't really see how those words encapsulate the different types of things that someone should or shouldn't be. Like, you can simply just say, like, going back to her post, like, you can simply just say, like, it's not good to be hating, bitter, and messy. Like, that's true. You know, those are things that, like, you shouldn't be. It is good to take time to recharge and pamper and self-soothe, but not just for women, for men too. Like, anybody of any gender should take time to recharge. And I do understand, like, empowering people to be more feminine if they have felt like they've had to repress their femininity. That's another thing. I think that a lot of people who are attracted to this thing are people who have been told you can't be feminine, like, you have to be masculine, or have just been raised in a way where they weren't allowed to express themselves in the way they wanted to. And so I think in that way this is good, but it's like, it's only appealing to those kinds of people. It's not appealing to people who have been told to be feminine and want to be more masculine, right? So I think there needs to be a little more, not nuance, but like just understanding that not every woman is too masculine and needs to be more feminine, and that it's a bad thing to be masculine and a good thing to be feminine. Like, I don't know how these things even came to be considered feminine and masculine in the first place. Yeah. Let's see. So, going back to this woman's thing, actually, I might have something else to go through first. Okay. Okay, yeah. So this woman's page is the first one I came across. I will say she hasn't posted in over a year, so like she's not an act. Like, obviously don't go like send hate to any of these people. Like, I never really say that because I've never heard anyone say like, oh, people from your videos came and like sent me hate messages. So I don't really think people are doing that, but just saying, like, especially because I don't generally like to talk about super small creators, especially someone who hasn't posted for a year. Like, I mean, maybe she doesn't even use the Instagram anymore, but yeah, don't send hate or like mean comments to any of these people. But this is the first person who I came across who talked about hypergamy, and she has this course. Let's see, which one is it? The Feminine Appeal course. Yeah. So she has this course that I wanted to mention a couple of things from. But first, I want to give a definition of hypergamy. So there is kind of like, there's two ways of looking at this basically. But the first way is that hypergamy is kind of like just considered, it can be called marrying up, and it's a term used in social science for the act or practice of a person marrying a spouse of higher caste or social status than themselves. It's mostly practiced by women. So one way you can look at the term hypergamy is that it describes kind of the almost natural, I guess, or the biological, I'm not sure. This is not the way I'm going to be talking about it, but like, it is very common and has been throughout all of history for women to marry men of higher social status with more money than them as means of security and whatnot. And that's not the way that I'm going to be talking about it, because that's not the way that these promoters of it talk about it. For them, it's more of a promotion of you, like women, it's for women, okay? So women need to be hypergamous. You basically don't have any self-respect if you're not this way. It's not like you gotta find a guy who makes like a decent living. It's like, no, like you need to find like a super rich like somebody who's making multi-millions of dollars every year so he can fund your lifestyle and you can just relax. And that's what you deserve as a woman. It's not greedy to ask for that or anything. And so they're taking kind of like a more, like the term hypergamy is used in like social sciences, but they're taking that and they're basically turning it into like a justification for gold digging, essentially. Like that's 100% what it is. Like these women are complete gold diggers and they're encouraging other women and teaching other women how to be gold diggers. It's actually kind of funny a little bit. I'm not trying to make this like a male apologist, or I don't know what you call it. Like, I'm not trying to make this like, oh, women are bad, men are good kind of video. And to balance that out, oh, I forgot to mention earlier, this Saturday at 11 a.m. Central Time, I'm going to be doing a Patreon only live stream. So you can sign up to my Patreon. It's $3.33 a month. You'll get weekly live streams, 2 vlogs or other like personal content types videos a month. And so I'm going to be doing a Patreon live stream on incels, which is mainly men. So kind of balance it out. So it's not like I'm picking on either gender, but either way, like I'm not picking on the entire genders. It's like just a small group of women and a small group of men who are like into hypergamy and then incels, you know? So, but this like, this is a funny thing. A lot of it's kind of funny, but I do feel somewhat bad for these men who are kind of taken advantage of, I guess, or just these women. As you'll see, I hope I saved something that like says this, but some of these women are like, you know, girls, like you want to make sure that you're not letting the man know at first that you just want him for his money, basically. And so it's like, I feel bad for that. It's the same thing as like men just being into women for their body or their physical appearance. Like that feels bad to know that there are people out there that are like that. And so I could imagine as a man, like it feels bad to know that there are women who, I mean, if you make a lot of money, might just want you for your money. So that's hypergamy. So this is this person's course. I don't know this person's name at all. It doesn't really matter. But I will say that she does, as you can see in this thing right here, she does make this specifically, it says for brown and dark skinned women. That is relevant, a fact for later, which is cool. She, based on what she said, I have it written down here, but yeah, so she caters it specifically to brown skin and dark skin black women. That's what she says in a video, and that's great. But we'll see later, there's like just something weird related to that. So she has this ultimate guide to feminine appeal. This master course is designed to help you cultivate the 6 pillars of femininity. Once you've successfully completed this course, you'll be able to cultivate your unique feminine charm and become truly irresistible. And so a big aspect of hypergamy, which is why I kind of talked about this femininity stuff before, is because, I'm sorry, I always have to like burp whenever I'm doing live streams. It's so embarrassing, but a huge aspect of how you get into hypergamy and whatever is making yourself more feminine and making yourself this certain type of woman to attract these rich men. So yeah, she cracked the code. I beat the modern woman stereotype. I manifested abundance of high value suitors, luxury, and privilege. So here's a couple of things just looking at this. She says high value suitors, but she and other people, maybe not her, but like most of the women in this community, they refer to the type of men that they're looking at as high value men. And so you might see abbreviations of HVM if you're watching the screen. That's what it means, high value men, which means rich men. But also this woman specifically, the terms that she uses are so ew. They're so like, she uses the term suitors. Like when I think of that, okay, someone's gonna know what I'm talking about, but there's some like really popular poetry type book that's from like a couple hundred years ago where it's like the suitors are like an important or like a big character in it. Like maybe like it's something like Macbeth or whatever book by Homer. Somebody please let me know. Oh, thank you, Rahul, for the super chat. I'm glad you like the videos. So someone let me know what that thing is, because that's exactly what it reminded me of. I honestly found this woman's page probably a year ago, and I was thinking of making a video on divine femininity and hypergamy, but I kind of just forgot about it. Like, I had like a Google Doc thing for it, and I totally forgot. Aladdin. No, it's not Aladdin. The Odyssey, yeah. Yeah, the Odyssey, which is like an old book. It's hundreds of years old, talking about suitors. And another word she'll use later. Let's see if I can get to it. Or maybe it's in the comments people leave. Oh, I forgot what it was. Suitors and courtship. That's what she always says, courtship. And it's so weird. Like, it makes it something that I was thinking about when I was researching this, or kind of preparing for this video the other day, is that these women who are into this treat finding a partner like it's a business venture, because it is, in a sense. It's like a business venture is like a way that you're doing it to make more money. And these women are doing this to make more money, to get more money, I should say, because really this, like, they want a man who, like, the man's money is their money, basically. And so they refer to them as suitors and courtship. And it's like, it's such, I think it's the terms that just give it this vibe of it being very inauthentic and gross. And so the things that you'll learn in this course are the secrets to create a compelling appearance to increase privilege, suitors, and abundance, how to feminize yourself in order to completely stand out in any room. So basically it's like you're making yourself prettier in a more feminine way. And that's another thing. I'm going to talk about this later too, I'm pretty sure. But it's like, it's not a good thing, especially like when you're an adult. Like, I'm sure this was created by an adult in her late 20s, probably, right? To be an adult in your late 20s and like telling other people like that you should make your appearance look in a certain way so that you can attract people. It's not a bad thing to be more masculine, because you should be choosing how you want to look based on what feels best for you, not what other people are going to be attracted to. But even like, with that being said, the reason you're supposed to be more feminine is because it'll attract suitors, rich suitors. And it's like, not like, and we're taking that into account. Like, again, you shouldn't dress for any people, but like, there are men who are more attracted to masculine women who maybe don't wear a lot of makeup, or don't do their hair, or wear more like masculine clothes or whatever. So it's like, if that's who you are, like, you're going to be able to find somebody who likes you for who you are. You don't have to change yourself to make yourself the perfect feminine woman, because there's somebody out there for everyone. Like, you're gonna be able to find a guy who is attracted to you because you're masculine. That's what they're into, that is appealing to them. But the next part of this, of what you'll learn, is the ultra feminine appeal / allure, techniques I use to transform into an ultra feminine woman with no prior insight, the exact strategies and formula to use to exude feminine appeal, and then dating strategies proven to secure high value men. So there you go, high value men. Methods to attract them fast and organically. Everything I did to scale my clients from 0 to several producer men at their feet. This is another word. Producer men. It comes, like, I would love to know what you guys think it comes off of. Hypergamy? Somebody said that's what it's pronounced as. Maybe I'll just not say the word. But let's see. Oh, one sec, I gotta let my cat in. It just started raining. Didn't even know it was supposed to rain tonight, but I didn't really check the weather. And like, it's rained here like once this whole summer. But yeah, so producer men, I mean, what the heck? Like, that's it's just such a weird term. She just talks about the kind of content that she has in there. Trust me, you need this. Great sales tactic. Very convincing. Let's see. Your feminine journey can be pretty overwhelming and filled with lots of self-doubt. Trust me, I went through this. Not having a feminine figure, growing up with a toxic mother, and being raised to be strong and compete against men, I decided I wanted to study femininity and beat the modern woman stereotype. Now, I don't know what that means, the modern woman stereotype, and she's relating it to being like masculine and whatever. I mean, I don't know. I guess what she's saying is like the modern woman has been allowed to be herself more, and instead of going through life with her whole purpose just being to marry a man and live her life in service to him, never get a job, just be a mom, it seems like she wants to kind of revert to that, which is totally fine, like for an individual person to want to be like a stay-at-home mom and not work, like that's fine, but it's not like everyone should be doing that, you know what I mean? But that's when she learned the secrets that her mother didn't want her to know. This course outlines how to build up your feminine allure properly in order to scale quickly and organically despite the challenges. And here she goes with the courtship thing. I launched my course page in March 2020. By June, I had 18 women in courtship or engaged to a high value man. Okay. Courtship. Honestly, I gotta look up what that means. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I thought courtship. Does it mean dating? Oh, okay. A period during which a couple develop a romantic relationship before getting married. Okay, so courtship is not marriage. But that's fine. Okay, so she launches her thing in March, and then April, May, June. So in 4 months to be dating, normal, to be engaged, personally, a little faster than I'd want to go. That's not something to be proud of. Like I know that there are people that have gotten engaged really fast and it happened to work out. That's great. I remember, I don't know if any of you guys know, like who are into like the vegan, especially I think like Hawaii scene. Oh, what's her name? Earthy Andy. Let's look her up. She's a really popular like Hawaii mom vegan. That's my best way to describe it. And I want to see if I can find the information that I wanted to talk about. This is a sidetrack, so I hope you guys don't mind. Okay, well, so Earthy Andy, she has 1.3 million followers. She lives in Hawaii. Blah, blah, blah. So she makes like really aesthetic family type Instagram posts and food Instagram posts. I think she's really known for her like videos that are like this, you know, her making smoothies of very pretty colors. But I remember reading it somewhere, and I don't know if it would be on her page because I don't see like an about section. Wait, one sec. Tags. Okay, I'm pretty sure like she's still married. She's in her 30s. Oh, thank you, Rahul again. This woman's course is a sister school to pickup artists. Yeah, exactly. That's something I saw somebody say, and I honestly wasn't gonna mention it. I totally forgot. Like, it's like pickup artistry, but for women who are looking for rich men, basically, which is interesting. Because a lot of pickup artists, I mean, definitely in my opinion, have like really slimy vibes, and I think the women have this too, even though generally I feel like it's more like acceptable for women to like do this kind of stuff, or do a lot of things, honestly. But it still has a gross vibe to me, because like I can relate it to myself, like just knowing that people are spending like this much time like strategizing in order to get in a relationship with a certain type of person. There's just something very inauthentic and gross about that, you know what I mean? And so yeah, let's see. Okay, so I don't know, but let's see, this has got to be, well, I feel bad. I wasn't really thinking like about, I usually don't like to like post kids or show kids because they don't really consent to being like broadcasted across the internet. But I believe this is her and her husband and their kids, and they've been married for a while. I don't know how long. Let's say many years, a decade or whatever. But I remember reading a story of her talking about how she and her husband met and got married 7 days later. They just had like such this great connection. They were probably like twin flames or soulmates or something. And they got married after 7 days. And like that, I would recommend against. I think anyone would recommend against, but it worked out for them. But at the same time, okay. Enough of that sidetrack. Let's see. Hypergamy. Okay, get rid of some of my tabs. Like, to be engaged in such a short period of time is like, you're not losing out by waiting any longer. But that's a lot of, well, never mind. Okay. You can be ultra feminine. You can go secure a husband with the proper content I teach. And you can live a hypergamous lifestyle if you apply my teachings. Secure a husband. It's like securing a spot in a parking lot. Like, it's just, the terminology is just weird. Okay, now here's one of the weirdest things, and I want to know what you guys think about this. Because I don't know what to think. So remember, this is made by, I assume, a Black woman. I don't know if she's ever like posted what she looks like publicly, but like since she's making this course for, it says like brown and Black women, I assume she is. But this is what one of the people who has taken her course, or her guide, has said about it, okay? I'm so happy I took this course. I am with a wildly successful non-Black man, and now I'm seeing more and more of my sisters with men of his caliber too. Yay! Enjoy it, ladies. There's nothing in comparison with the feeling of being taken care of, adored, cherished, loved, spoiled too. Always remember, never call him ever, unless in a dire situation. You must ignite his desire to chase and win you over, and do not text him back right away. Wait, it will increase desire in him for you. Happy dating, beauties. So the thing I don't understand, like, why is this woman specifying that she is in a relationship with a non-Black man? Like, is this guy teaching these women that they should go for non-Black men? Or is it teaching them that they should go for Black men, but this woman wanted to say, oh, you know, I didn't get a Black man. I didn't secure a Black man, but I secured someone else. I just could never picture myself describing a person as like a non-Black person. Oh, yeah, I saw this person at the store today. Like, they were a non-Asian man. Like, it's just like it's a weird thing to specify for seemingly no reason based on other things that are written there. Yeah, it's like, I don't know if it's meant in a racist way, because like the woman in the picture, like, I assume these are actual pictures of the people. Well, maybe not. That looks like a stock image. That looks like a real image. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if these are the real, like, pictures of the people, but like, I would assume, like, I don't know if you're allowed to do this if you're not brown or Black. I guess she probably doesn't like ask for a picture of you before you sign up, but like, I would assume that this woman who is saying this is a Black woman. But Yeah, and somebody said it feels like internalized racism. Yeah, it definitely could be. Like, I just have no clue. Like, I just been thinking about this, and I'm like, I don't know what to think about it. It's such a weird thing. I don't remember any of the other ones being that interesting. Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, so my opinions on this, like, I'm not trying to talk about this at all. Like, I'm some like dating expert, you know. But just like my personal opinions, just as just a plain old person in the world. Like, never call, if you're like trying to get a guy to like you, never call him. Don't text him back right away. It will increase desire in him for you. Like, personally, I think that there's men who that'll work for, and there's men who won't like that. Like, there are men and women and people of all genders who want somebody who texts back soon. They want somebody who they can have a lot of communication with. They want somebody who puts in effort, and it makes them feel good, like seeing like, oh, this woman like wants to call me. Like, that can make people feel like they're wanted. So it's like, how is, like, I feel like this is probably being given as like universal advice. You should never call a man, blah blah blah. But it's like, I don't know if it's necessarily the best thing to do, because some people just might not be into that, and you should probably just be authentic. And like, if you want to text a man back right away, text him back right away. You know? It's like, do you really want to, it's basically like manipulate, or like subconscious, like changing somebody's subconscious response to you in order to get them to like you more. I don't understand. 1 second. Is it getting really dark in here? Oh, it's a little dark, but sorry. I was trying to do this early, like before the sun went down, but it's so dark since it started raining. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about this? I love your channel, but this is very disappointing to see. Why? Sorry, I don't get it. Am I supposed to be promoting hypergamy? This is clearly out of your range. You didn't do your research. You don't understand the nuance of dating as a black woman. I'm sorry, you'll have to clarify what this means. Like, this is just one person's course. Like, hypergamy isn't only for black women. This is just the first one that I came across, so that's why I'm talking about it. But yeah. Let me know, because I'm not really understanding where you guys are coming from. But that's okay. Let's see what the other reviews. I love this course. I've made sure I'm immaculately presented every day, even during quarantine. At the start of the year, when I started this journey, I felt unnatural being so dressed up and done up all the time. Now, 6 months later, my whole personality has developed to suit the role, and I cannot remember how I used to wear jeans and sneakers every day. Yeah, so those of you who don't like what I'm talking about, like, you're gonna have to explain it. Somebody said that I didn't read the previous comment. I mean, I'm scrolling up and I don't see it, so I'm sorry. Like, there's just way too many comments for me to sit here and read all of them. But this is, I don't really get it, honestly. Anyways, let's see. I just started to reduce my masculine energy and step into my goddess self, and OMG, the magnetism and changes is incredible. Yeah. So, let's see. Okay, so this was another thing that I thought was interesting. Somebody on Instagram had this femininity quiz, And I thought it was interesting because it's like I took it and there's like right and wrong answers. Like you get points off if you don't answer it correctly. On a scale of 0 to 10, how feminine are you? And if you don't answer the feminine questions, then it's like 0 points. 1 second. This topic is too nuanced and complex to be brushed over by scrolling through a page on Instagram. Well, I mean, I just started out, y'all. I'm just gonna be going to one Instagram page and this is the whole thing. This is all that hypergamy is. Like, I'm gonna be going through multiple different things. You can't even give me a chance, okay? Femininity quiz. I think this was on an Instagram page of somebody who talked about hypergamy, but it's like, how would you describe your personality? Friendly, bubbly, and outgoing, mysterious, reserved, and poised, feisty, argumentative, and impulsive. And like the correct answer I found is like this one. You're supposed to be mysterious, reserved, and poised. If you're naturally friendly, bubbly, and outgoing, you're not feminine enough. Like, it's so weird. How would you describe your style? I don't remember all of these. I think provocative is no, and like conservative is no. I think it's like chic, trendy, and elegant. And it's like a lot of these different people promote that like everyone should basically follow this same set of steps. Like, you got to do this is to attract a man. But it's like, again, not all men are into the same thing. Like, some men are into people who are conservative, churchy, and formal. You know what I mean? Because like, there's churchy guys. There's guys who value conservativeness and modesty and whatever. And there's guys who are into people who wear revealing clothes. But again, you shouldn't dress based on how guys want you to dress, or like based on what guys like. So, okay, the person who said that, I forgot. The person who addressed earlier, who didn't like what I was saying. Hypergamy is different for Black women. In our communities, we have been masculine and taught to build up a man. Oftentimes, Black women are the breadwinners and do not have the option to be stay-at-home moms. I mean, that certainly might be true. But I don't think that negates anything that I'm gonna be talking about. Like I said this earlier, when I was talking about divine femininity. Like, if you're being told that you have to be masculine, then I think divine femininity is a good thing, because it can help women like feel empowered to be more feminine if that's what they want to do. So it's like, if you've been told to be masculine, I'm not saying you should stay masculine. It's like I totally get that there are people who have been brought up being told that they have to, or being kind of like put in a position where they're basically forced to be something that they don't want to be. And being taught to build up a man, I mean, like, I don't think that that's exactly related to at least what I'm planning to talk about. Oftentimes Black women are the breadwinners and don't have the option to be stay-at-home moms. Like again, that might be true, and that sucks. Like, I don't think that a woman should feel forced to do that, but I also don't think a man should be forced to do that. But yeah, I think, I mean, if you don't like the video, totally don't have to watch it, but I don't think it's really going in that direction of like criticizing Black women and saying that they have to stay the way that they were raised. But okay. How would you describe your attitude? Positive, enthusiastic, and hopeful. Negative, doubtful, and pessimistic. Somewhere in the middle, depending on the circumstances. I think I got this one wrong. I think I said somewhere in the middle. Like, I was just doing random ones, but I think you're supposed to be positive, enthusiastic, and hopeful. How confident are you in your ability to find a great partner? I also think you're supposed to be confident. Any man would be lucky to have me as a partner. I think that's definitely the one that you're supposed to do. Do you believe in hypergamy? I want a partner that I can rely, depend on if necessary. Provision and protection are important, but character and values are primordial. I have my own money. I don't want to depend on my husband financially. You can never fully trust a man. I believe in partnership. My husband and I are going to support each other financially and split our bills equally. Oh, how awful to split bills. Okay, let's see if I got them all right. 10 out of 10. See, this is what's so funny about it. Like, I wasn't expecting this the first time that I took it. You get points off if you don't say the right thing. And so it's like, you're not supposed to be friendly, bubbly, or outgoing. Like, I get these are negative traits, so whatever. I honestly, like, I don't think it's good to be positive, enthusiastic, and hopeful all the time. Being somewhere in the middle, like, basing your attitude on the circumstances, I think is a lot more practical, but that's just me. These two, whatever. Let's see. Oh, dang it, I'm so sorry. I didn't have the thing on the screen the whole time. Oh my gosh. Alright, guys. I apologize. Well, I already exited out of it, but oh well, what can you do? So, now I'm back on the recording screen, which I didn't mean to press for this, but okay, this is an Instagram Q&A story highlight reel that I wanted to go over. Okay, so somebody did a Q&A on their thing. And so let's see. How to not appear like a gold digger. I think this is one that I wanted to talk about. So the person responds, "It is truly every other person but the man with the gold that calls you a gold digger. I will definitely write on this because a lot of you ladies are letting this stigma hold you back and it's disgusting. Even if you're digging for gold, a man shouldn't know until you've found it." Let me repeat that. Even if you are digging for gold, even if you are a gold digger, you only care about this man for his money. You shouldn't let him know until you've already found it, until essentially you've secured him and it's too late because he's already in love. You're not on Shark Tank. You don't meet a man and announce that you're seeking $1 million for 95% equity in your life. That is one of the things that is like so gross about it, is like, I understand that a lot of people like want somebody who like has a stable job or something like this, but a lot of these people, it's not like they just want a man who makes like $80K a year. Like, that's a lot of money in a lot of places in the US, for example, maybe not LA. But like a lot of them talk about securing a man who makes like multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, or like millions of dollars a year. Here's Leo coming over. Come on. It's Leo's birthday today, actually. He turned 3. I mean, it's just a made-up birthday, but it would be cool if this was a call-in show. I mean, I don't even know how to do that. Sorry. I tried to do, like, on my Patreon, I tried to do a Discord. Like, I have a Patreon Discord, so we tried to do, like, a Discord voice thing where like other people could talk, but I couldn't get to hear it. I couldn't get it to show up on the stream, so I don't know how to do it. Somebody said hypergamy is basically choosing a partner who's on your social or economic level or higher. I don't see the problem here. Feminism has y'all in a chokehold, I see, LOL. If you just joined, I understand that you might not be understanding the way that I'm talking about it, but if you go back, I do clarify. I'm not talking about hypergamy in simply the sense of dating somebody on a higher social status. I'm talking about it in the way that I'm talking about it, which is like people who are very extreme in it, and it's like their whole life, like they're making guides on how to be hypergamous and how to get a man who makes a ton of money, and like that's the main thing that they want in a man, instead of actually valuing the person for who they are. Yeah, I have a Discord community, but it's only for Patreon members, so alright. But that being said, a lot of these people, like, they don't promote that, like, women shouldn't make any money. Like, they promote women having their own jobs too, so I just wanted to mention that. But oh, this was another one I wanted to talk about. So somebody asked how to let a man know that you're traditional, and the person responded, I wrote a post about this but scrapped it because I didn't think it was good enough. I'll bring it back. I hope you didn't hear that. Somebody like yelling outside. But in summary, something as little as insisting, especially on the first few dates, that a man should open the car door, open the restaurant door, take your coat, pull out your seat, etc., conveys the message that you're a traditional lady who admires and appreciates chivalry. I don't think there's necessarily a problem with this, but I kind of find it funny, like these are nice gestures, but like insisting that a man has to do all these things like it's the 1950s. I mean, it's like a guy can do all these things, you know, and like still be like a trashy person, still be a douche. Like these are just like basic things that any guy can be like, okay, I'm gonna do these things to make this girl think that I'm a good person. Open the car door. Any guy can do that. But it's like really when it comes down to like knowing how actually chivalrous a guy is, how actually respectful he is, it's not gonna be whether he takes your coat. Because anyone can do that, you know? Anyone can do that, but not know how to actually treat you with respect or not put in any effort into that. And let's see. I think that's probably all that I wanted to talk about from that. Yeah, like I said earlier, someone wanted to talk about entrepreneurship, and she responded, this and personal finance, because smart girls make money moves. So it's not necessarily like be a gold digger and don't ever have a job. It's not like sugar baby type vibes, but yeah. Let's see, on to the next thing. Okay. Okay, I think this person had some interesting quotes. So this is a page about hypergamy, dating advice, femininity, elegance. Okay. I think I wrote some down, so 1 second. Okay, so here's the thing that I'm talking about. Like, here is the thing that I think is a problem with. Basically, it's not just about dating up. Oh, somebody just happens to date somebody that's rich, or somebody's looking for somebody with a stable, well-paying job. It's not about that. It's like, love won't pay your bills. As if having your bills paid by a different person, not by yourself, is more important than actually loving that person. So it kind of, to me, it implies something different to you. You don't get the same thing, but it almost feels like it's more important that you have a rich man than you have a man that you love. And I think that's obviously problematic. I mean, sure, it's great to have both for some people, I guess, but it's like, I would definitely rather like have somebody that I loved and was in love with that like didn't have any money. I think that would be a much better way to live. But there's that one. What else? It's definitely raining a lot harder now, which is exciting. I miss the rain. Okay, next one. gold diggers are gold diggers. This is kind of a funny quote. Like, it's like I said, it's spiritual, or it's not, this isn't necessarily spiritualizing gold digging, and it's not always spiritual. Like, not everyone has a spiritual aspect on it, but at least for everyone, it's like justified gold digging. Like, it's okay, it's good to be a gold digger. Not, like, again, it's not just about wanting somebody with a good job. A lot of these people promote, and I don't know if I saved any screenshots of this, but like promote just finding men who are really rich, and it's like that's the only thing that matters. Of course, I do think they promote like finding a man who's like respectful of you and whatever, but it's like the respect, the caring, the love from the man is always shown, or they always kind of imply that it's going to be shown through how much money he gives you, how many gifts he gives you. Is he buying you cheap gifts, or is he buying you expensive gifts? Is he making you ever pay for anything? And it's like, it just makes it seem like all they care about is money and nothing else. So, let's see. Is hypergamy supposed to relate to the divine feminism somehow? Because it doesn't seem that divine to me. I mean, it just relates to it in that a lot of people who I've seen talk about divine femininity or just... Oh my gosh, the cats are fighting. A lot of people who talk about divine femininity also talk about, or people who talk about hypergamy also are into divine femininity, or just kind of like making yourself more feminine, more elegant. That's a really common term, as you've probably seen. Yeah. Somebody asked, what's the alternative then, Anna? I don't know what you mean, sorry. Here's another one. Let me pull it up real quick. Yeah, so this from the same page. A naive woman married for love, a wise woman married for prosperity. So prosperity, I guess, means kind of like money. It could mean other things. Like somebody here says, prosperity always, ladies, not only financially. But I mean, I'm not a like marriage expert or relationship expert, but like, of course there's more than just like love to it. Like, yeah, it gotta be compatible, there has to be other aspects, but like, they kind of make it seem like love isn't that important, and that it's more about like, what can this man do for you? And I think that's kind of sad. So, like, here's another thing. This isn't like a big deal. Like, I don't necessarily care about this, but this is on that same page, and it's like, a lot of it is about how do you make yourself elegant so men are attracted to you. And so this person posted like bags that are not elegant, so you should never buy these, even if these are things that you like. Even if you're like, wow, that really is something that I would like wearing and I would feel comfortable in, and it like matches my style and whatever. No, too bad. The shape of the bag in combination with the color and tacky metal details makes this bag far from elegant. Which, like, I understand if your goal in life is to be more elegant, maybe this is like helpful. But it's like, is it really that important? I mean, so what if somebody wants to wear a bag like this and they think it's cute? I don't know why it's that important. And I don't think everyone necessarily needs to like dress the same, have the same accessories, do all the same things so that they're considered elegant in the same way. Like, different people also probably consider different things to be elegant. I mean, to an extent, obviously, like wearing the like a gym clothing isn't elegant, but I don't know. So there was, I think, honestly, only one more link. Oh, this is something I wanted to talk about. This is just something I wrote down. It's not like an Instagram story. So like I said, like these people want to marry rich, and I've seen some people kind of act like this person says a wise woman marries for prosperity, but it's like not everyone can do that necessarily, right? Like not everyone can marry a guy who makes a lot of money. So it's like if you like sorry, what was I gonna say? I wonder, like, do they think that broke men or men who only make like 75K a year don't deserve relationships? Like, what type of women should be in relationships with men who don't make a lot of money? And also, of course, these are always made for heterosexual couples. So it's like when it comes to same-sex couples, like, how does that work out? How do they decide who needs to be the one that is like the breadwinner or the rich person? Like it basically is kind of implied that like women should be the ones to be taken care of and the man should be the one to do that. But when it's a man and a man, woman and woman, I'm just kind of like curious what they would think about that. Maybe they don't really have strong opinions on it, but that's just something I was wondering about, because it's like when you think of gender roles in marriage and whatever, like gay couples kind of show you that you don't really need them. I mean, many heterosexual couples show that too, but it's like a woman and woman can be married and like someone can take on pretty equal roles, or one of the women can take on more of like a going to work and making the majority of the money for the house role, and it's like the woman is perfectly capable of doing that and she might enjoy it. And for a man and a man in a relationship, like one of them might stay home more, take care of kids if they have any, do more of the cooking, and be completely happy with that. And so it's like I don't know why these gender roles are coming back into play so much. Like a woman can't just decide what she wants to do based on her personal preference. Like she has to be more feminine. She has to find a man that's not feminine, right? Because feminine men are bad or something. Yeah. So I know I missed basically the entire stream, but why can't both be the breadwinner? Yeah, that's a good point. Like, there's relationships where both people make a ton of money, and it's like maybe one of them makes so much that the other doesn't even have to have a job, but like the other person, say the woman in a straight relationship, just enjoys working. She enjoys her job. She enjoys that kind of lifestyle, going to work every day, like driving there, having a schedule, all that. It's like, is she just supposed to, does she have to quit her job? I don't think that a lot of these people necessarily promote like, you've got to be this way, but some of them do promote it in a way where it's like, you don't, like, if you're not looking for a man who can provide for you, then it's like you don't have as much self-respect as you should. You know what I mean? So let's see. Okay. So this was I wanted to maybe talk about this Medium article on hypergamy, but I honestly didn't read through it, so I don't know if... Sorry, I thought I heard my cat outside, but he's not outside. Okay, sorry, it's just loading. But let's see. I think we'll read through this a little bit. So this is on medium.com. It's written by, oh, okay, I'm definitely gonna pronounce her name wrong. Adiz Sherilyn Ilo, or just Lo, I'm not sure. But she wrote this article called "The Lie of Hypergamy and How It Hurts Women. Divine Feminine is Toxic." Hypergamy tells women to embrace a soft nature. They tell women not to talk too much, to cater to a man's ego, to level up, and to use their pretty privilege as a means to an end. The end being to bag a wealthy man, or high-value men, as they prefer to call it. This is another thing. It's like, I don't think that a man's value just lies in how wealthy he is. I think that's can be really harmful. There are a lot of men who are wealthy, and personally I'd probably consider their value to be pretty low just based on their personality and their character, right? And there's men who probably don't have jobs and don't make that much money, who have high amounts of value because of who they are as people, right? And I don't know if people are like I said, I don't think they're encouraging people to go out and find a wealthy man who's has nothing else going for him, right? Who's an awful person. But still. Anyways, she writes, while I'm not against women taking care of themselves, looking nice, and if they choose looking for a way to level up their look, there is something about this philosophy that doesn't sit well with me. I remember the first time I stumbled upon a popular YouTuber who goes by the name of Kevin Samuels. Sorry, there's just a weird noise. I was on YouTube scrolling mindlessly through my homepage, and I saw his channel. This particular video that YouTube suggests to me from Samuels was how modern women need to be more classy. I was curious to see how that played out from a man's perspective. That's another thing I forgot to mention that I was thinking of when I was writing about this, is a lot of the stuff that women are saying. I understand that it's different. Being a woman and saying certain things about women, being a man saying certain things about women. But a lot of these things, if a man said them, it would come across, I think, as a lot more problematic and misogynistic to an extent. If a man said this, let me go back to it. These two checklists that we looked at earlier. If a man posted something like this, that feminine woman check, a green check, masculine woman red X, or this, I don't even know what this is. There's a nice lotus flower for the feminine woman, and then a bad apple, with a weird face for the masculine woman. I think if a man said this, it would come across kind of insulting. You know what I mean? But, oops. So let's see. Where was I? Okay. To cut the long story short, I quickly found out that he's among the lead voices in the hypergamy movement. Samuels tells women that unless they were 5'9", a size 6, and 8 to 10 on the pretty scale, and below 30 years old, they don't deserve to marry a high-quality man. In other words, if you aren't drop-dead gorgeous and of high value according to the gospel of Kevin Samuels, you're screwed and will die alone. Yikes. On the surface, proponents of hypergamy promote a glamorous lifestyle. They tell women that all they need is to invest in their looks and they'll have a high-value man of their dreams. Many women buy into this but fail to see the potential dangers, which I highlight below. Okay, so she goes into lists some of the dangers. First of all, it tells women that they have to fit a specific mold to find a quality man. Yes, this is something I mentioned. You'll usually, in most femininity or hypergamy videos that you find on YouTube, women are told to level up their look. That's a big thing, is making yourself look more conventionally attractive, right? Like she says, wearing false lashes or whatever. The movement focuses on the way women should be, but forgets that women come in all sorts of shapes and sizes with different taste styles and preferences. So it leaves no room for individuality. I think that's a good way to promote or to say it. This strong emphasis on a woman's look, weight, and height as all the value she can offer to be accepted by a man forgets that looks fade. And if marriage or relationships are based on that, then as someone mentioned earlier from a different article named Jennifer said, it will not have staying power. And that's another thing, like, for a relationship to be based on like a man liking a woman for her looks and a woman liking a man for his money, it's so superficial, and I would be uncomfortable if I felt like all the guy cared about was my looks, you know what I mean? Anyways, it places the value of man on his pay grade and a woman on her looks, so kind of the same thing. Yeah, I don't know if I need to go over that because I've kind of already talked about it. Let's see. Number 3, women are told that to be truly feminine, they have to prefer being a stay-at-home mom over having a career. I think this is true to an extent, but like I said, I have seen a couple people who post like, you know, go and get your bag, or like have your own job, like start your own business, whatever you need to do to get money. So I think it's depends on the person. A woman who works and a woman who is a stay-at-home mom are both feminine. There shouldn't be a polarization of the word feminine. Who made those rules anyways? Let me check the comments, sorry. I haven't checked them in a while. Please react to a Kevin Samuels video. I can think about it. I have had some people, I don't know, like it said he was into hypergamy, but I don't know if he is into like pickup artistry too. One can only hope. But I have had some people ask me to talk about pickup artists, so I would consider it for a video, a YouTube live stream or a Patreon one. I'm not sure, but yeah. Somebody said, according to their seamstress instructor, when sewing machines were first invented, men thought women would never be able to use them because they're so complicated. That's really funny. I've never heard that. That's cool. Well, not cool, but like a interesting fact, I guess. Sure, in this day and in this economy, you can survive on only one person working. Yeah. It's such dated advice. Like, yeah, back in the day, I guess it worked for some people, but I mean, like I said, that's why it's like you can't, this can't be about finding a man who makes $80K a year, because the two of you living off $80K and then like having kids, like that's not going to create the luxurious lifestyle that a lot of these women are searching for. It's not about being provided for and having to make sure that your bills are paid. It's like they want like designer items. They want their man to buy them all these expensive things. You can't do that on $80K a year with kids in the US. But so back to the article. This movement glorifies one lifestyle choice above the other. They insinuate that men don't care about a woman's career, but only if she can be a submissive wife and give him children while supporting his dreams. That's another thing, is like there's men who would prefer a stay-at-home mom. There's men who are attracted to women who are like driven in a career sense. Like you can certainly not have a career and still be a driven woman or man. But there are certain people who like want somebody else who has a career too. So it's like, it's not all like, not everyone is the exact same. This advice can quickly become harmful, and women who have aspirations other than being stay-at-home moms may internalize that to be deemed worthy of the feminine title, they have to let go of their dreams to fulfill a man's dream. To further debunk that myth, I did a poll on Twitter where I asked men on my timeline their preferences. Would they rather a wife that stayed at home, or a woman that had a career if they themselves, the man, I assume, or would it be, I don't know if she means, who she means by they. Would they rather a wife that stayed at home or a woman that had a career if they made six figures? I don't know if they mean the man makes the six figures or the woman, but whatever. It looks like 2/3 said that they wanted a woman who had a career against a third who preferred to stay at home mom. Again, shouldn't live your life based on what men are into, but still, it's like not every man wants the same thing, and so therefore you shouldn't like assume that and base your life on that. Hypergamy promotes a patriarchal system. According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, okay, blah, blah, blah. It made sense then because not until the 1700s, women in the West were still economically disadvantaged, and marrying up was a sure way to have a secure future. Not to talk developing and underdeveloped countries where women still have low economic advantages. I grew up in a culture where I was told to marry up. This was because in my culture, a woman wasn't encouraged to have a career. We would just have enough education. We could have just enough education, but then upon graduation, marriage and having children should be our sole focus. Men had all the power. We could dream, but not too much. Our place was ultimately at home, under the protection of our husbands. And this is another thing that I think is important to mention. I have seen firsthand the consequences when women are fully dependent on a man. One possible disadvantage is the woman feels stuck and finds it harder to leave if her husband isn't treating her fairly in the marriage. Many women where I'm from, stay in bad situations because of how dependent they are on their spouses for daily bread. And I think that's something that's scary. It's like sure, there's a lot of women who who want a rich man, or even if it's not like they need one, it's like, oh, it'd be nice to have. But you have to realize that it's like if you marry someone so rich that they're like, oh, you can quit your job, I'll pay for everything. It's like, what happens when the relationship starts to go poorly? Maybe the man, I'm not going to go into detail about this, so I don't know if I should put a trigger warning, but maybe the man is abusive. It's like to have your entire life dependent, or to be entirely dependent on a man who starts abusing you, it makes it so hard to leave, especially when you have kids with this person. And sure, you can get a divorce, and depending on if there was a prenup or not, you might be able to get some money to be able to take care of yourself afterwards. But if you there's just so many situations where it can be really bad to not have your own source of income, and not have, maybe you didn't go to college, and so you don't have a degree. So if you wanted to get out into the workforce, you'd be starting from the ground up. Sure, you can start your own business and hope to become a boss babe and whatever. But it's I would never want to be fully dependent on a man, because I would be so terrified of something like that happening. That would be so scary. Getting married and moving to the forest sounds like the life, not gonna lie. Yeah. I would love to live in a forest, but not a scary forest. Let's see. The advocates of hypergamy forget to add the cons of giving up your dreams for your spouse and the challenges a woman could potentially face if she is solely dependent on a man. If a woman decides to be a stay-at-home mom and depending on her husband to provide, that is awesome and nothing to be ashamed of. I totally agree. Yeah. Number 5, it sells false dreams and sets unrealistic standards for women. Sorry to burst your bubble, but these videos encouraging women to go for 6-figure earning men are selling pipe dreams. It's unrealistic for every woman to believe that just because she fits the feminine mold that she will automatically bag a wealthy man. The reality is men who earn 6 figures and above are in a minority, with a plethora of women vying for their attention. In that setting, men have the upper hand and there are no guarantees. Women shouldn't limit their preferences to a 6-figure income earner. If you do, you may miss out on a good man who may earn less but could be a better match for you. Yeah, for sure. Personally, I would much rather be with somebody who's a good match for me, a good person, treats me well, blah blah blah, but doesn't make any substantial income than somebody who does earn a lot. That's, I don't know. Closing words. When all is said and done, a woman has a choice, and if she chooses to become hypergamous, it is valid. However, women shouldn't be made to feel like their lives or potential for a good partner are limited to these stringent rules. I also think it's an insult to say that all men want and care about once they get to a certain pay grade is a woman that will be arm candy, the trophy wife. If there are men who want, even if there are men who want that, permit me to ask, why should women aspire to that? You're more than what you look like. In 2021, we want men that love us wholly and not for our looks alone. Yeah, I think that's how I feel about it too. Alright, so I guess this has created a good conversation. I feel like a lot of people, a lot of the comments that I've been seeing are people responding to each other, so that's good. stirred up a good story. But that's all the notes that I had on that. I've been going for an hour and a half, right? Where does it say? I don't know. But yeah, it's 7:30. So I think that probably wraps it up. I don't want to I feel like I've repeated myself a lot, which I always do, which is one of the reasons I was I don't know how I feel about live streams, because when I'm obviously, anyone's the best at speaking when they have something scripted, right? But when I don't have a script to go off of, it's I just ramble and repeat myself, forget that I already said something until I'm halfway through a sentence, and it's just I don't want there to be too much dead silence on here, so it's sometimes I just start talking and don't stop even though I've already said what I said. So yeah, again, I didn't mean any of this to come off as me being an expert in dating or anything. It's either just my opinions, and I wanted to hear other people's opinions too, and I'm glad that a lot of people got to share theirs. So you like the rambling? Okay, good. Thank you. That makes me happy. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and like I mentioned in my last live stream, of course not all you guys are going to be there, but I'm planning to do one live stream a month at least on my YouTube channel publicly for anyone to view. And then if you really like them, you can subscribe to the Patreon, and I'm going to be doing one a week. So like I said earlier, I'm going to be talking about incels. It's gonna be kind of an introduction to them. Not I'm not this expert, but it's kind of just more going over the basics. I want to look at their glossary of terms, and we'll go over some of the main terms, and we'll go over the main incel forum, which I think is just incels.net, and some posts. I still have yet to plan most of it, but we're gonna be doing that this Saturday, 11 a.m. Central Time. And so you can subscribe to the Patreon for that, and access to community Discord, vlogs. I have some vlogs up already. I think I have 5 vlogs or 5 personal videos up, and I'm gonna be posting one next Monday. So if you're interested in personal content, feel free to check that out. If not, that's totally fine. So yes, I think that's all that I have, and I hope you guys have a good night or day wherever you live, and I am going to end the stream, and I'll see you in my next video, which should be Ramtha's School of Enlightenment, maybe cult. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I started working on today. So thank you guys so much for coming and being with me for this hour and a half.